Hey, what is going on the YouTube? This is Game Guy, and today I'm bringing you to the February sneaker releases. Mainly going over the most expensive ones, or the ones that are going to have the best resale available to them. And yeah, I'm getting into more sneaker content from now on, so that is why this video is coming out. But I'm still going to be doing Supreme as well as sneaker content. It's basically going to mean like an upload every day or an upload every other day from now on. That's it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, so the most hyped month so far of the year is finally here, and we are going to be kicking it off with a bang. Hopefully. For this upcoming February, there are going to be drops basically every Thursday, Friday and Saturday, with the possibility of double ups coming your way. Now, for the last week and a bit, I've been going through and getting information on all of the releases, but I've been trying to condense it down into a smaller video, as the first take for this was about 35 minutes. Now for this video I'm going to be covering the releases that I have seen and the ones that I want to include. There are some that might also have profit that are different sneakers, but in general these are obviously going to be the ones that I want to include just to show in general, because they're the ones that have caught my attention. So we're going to kick things off straight away with the Yeezy Supply exclusive, being the Yeezy Boost 350 V2 Marsh colorway. Now if you went for the Yeshayas, you would have definitely seen these come up on the homepage obviously of Yeezy Supply, and yeah, don't expect them to obviously have crazy resale. There will be minimal resale to them, as most 350s do have, as they do have some hype to them. There's also meant to be a reflective or 3M type of material on these as well, so maybe that will drive up the profit a little bit that you can get, but still you can expect the normal profit margins on most releases that come out for 350s. So, also on February 1st, there's going to be the Nike SB Dunk Low Infrared releasing. These are going to be an EU release, as they have released in the US already, I believe, in like sort of bits and pieces. But now they're out. The general release has been going on for a little bit of time, and now they're going to be out in the EU on the 1st as well. There'll probably be some relatively small profit available on these, but if you'd like to, you can still go for them. On the same day, there's going to be a limited release of the Leftover Strange Love Nike SB Dunk Low Special Box. Now, if my information's wrong, information's wrong, but from what I saw, a lot of people who are either customers of Strange Love or in general they were just F&F, they received an email where they could then pay for a PayPal invoice for this special box release. The leftover of them are going to be released, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That will be on the 1st. That is obviously separate from the general release. Now moving on to February 2nd, we've got Cyber Restock. It's not sneaker related, but obviously to go for sneakers, I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in this. I'm personally going to be going for it just because of the pure fact that the resale is like 10 times the retail, so that is why I'm going to be attempting to go for them. You can expect it from 5 PM GMT to midnight GMT, or 1700 hours to 0 basically. Moving on from that, we're going to go on to February 2nd with a sort of quote non-confirmed, which is on the side of the general release for the Strange Love Nike SB Dunk Low general release of them. Like I said, personally for me, I do like the colorway of the pink and white to these. I do not skate. I would not be wearing them for the reason that they're probably for, but personally for me, I just like the colorway itself. Moving on from that, on the 7th as well, we've got the Nike Dunk Low Plum colorway coming out. I really like this colorway. There is room for quite a decent profit on them, and if you hold on to them, there's room for like a lot higher profit in the end. And yeah, I just think they're going to be a really decent release. Now we're going to move on to the next day, being February 8th, where we're going to get the AJ1 High 85 Varsity Red. Now this is going to be an extremely limited release as far as I have heard. The general releases in general for most Air Jordan 1s have about 200,000-ish stock. These are meant to have 20 to 25,000 stock, so as of that they're going to be very difficult to get. So if you can get one, you know, 1/10 of the stock, give it a good shot. I really like the colorway to these, not as much as like a Chicago colorway, but they still stand out quite well. Moving on to February 10th, we've got the Fear of God 1 string release. Now personally I was a bit hesitant as to whether or not I was going to include this one, but a lot of people are looking forward to this and a lot of people are going to go for it, and I'm sure there is going to be some profit in there as well available. So yeah, they're going to be releasing on the 10th. The next one is a sort of non-confirmed but confirmed pair that is releasing, which is a bundle pack sort of thing. It is the Jordan 1 New Beginnings and the Nike Airship pack. Now there hasn't been like a retro airship as far as I know for like 30 years or like 20 years or so, and obviously put alongside or packed together alongside a Jordan 1, I think these are going to be quite clean. Personally for me, I'm more of a fan of the Jordan colorway over the Airships colorway, but these are still going to have really good profit available to them, and yeah, if you can go for one, do, because it is definitely going to be worth it. On the following day, we're going to have the Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG Women's UNC to Chicago release. From the 12th to the 15th, there are just going to be consecutive releases coming out of different sneakers, so yeah, just be ready for that. But yeah, these are going to be releasing, and again, they're going to have some minimal to high profit depending on what size you get. Obviously, with it being a women's pair, you need to make sure that you either go for the really small size or the really big size, because those are the best, or they're the ones that tend to do well at the end of the day. On the 14th, this is a bit of a unconfirmed slash unknown item, but it could be the Yeezy Basketball Quantum release, and if they do release, they'll be very limited, but again, it's a bit of an unconfirmed one, so just look out for that. I could possibly see myself wearing these. On the same day, there is going to be the Don't Be Mad X New Balance 992 release. Joe Freshgoods made the reveal the other day that this release is going to be occurring. So yeah, sometimes New Balances tend to do well, sometimes they don't. I think that this one could do quite well, and it could go under the radar. Moving on to the 15th, we have the Off-White Air Jordan 5. Limited, hyped, everyone's going to be going for it. I'm going to be trying for it, you know, loads of people are just going to try for these at the end of the day, and I'm probably going to spend the whole day trying to pick up a pair. With them being limited, obviously the price is going to be driven up, and as most off-whites do, after like a year or so, they will probably hit like a really high point. But yeah, just keep an eye out for these, because obviously they're going to be probably one of the most hyped releases of the month, and they come basically right in the middle of the month, so yeah, just be ready. On the same day, there's also the possibility of the Yeezy 700 V3 Alva. It's a bit of an unknown, but it could release, so again, just be ready for it. Moving on to the 22nd, we have the Yeezy 350 Boost V2 Tail Light release. Personally, for me, I really like this sort of light grey colourway that is going to be coming out, and a lot of people are also fans of it. I'm not too much of a fan of the orange going along the stripe as far as it does, but apart from that, I think that it looks really clean. The same as the previous 350, there's going to be minimal to high profit available on this. It just depends on how it does and how people are feeling, and also what the stock is, because if there's a ton of stock, then it might cause the price to have a bit of an issue. Next up, we're going to move on to the 29th, which is going to feature the Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG Pine Green, as well as the Travis Scott Nike SB Dunk Low. Now personally for me, I'm a fan of my Pine Green Air Jordan 1s. I've worn them quite a couple of times now. I could see myself picking up another pair with this like black colorway introduced over the white colorway that is included on the pair that I have, but it'll have to come to when it is the point of them releasing as to whether or not I'll actually decide to go for a pair or not. I will probably still attempt to go for them in maybe a small size or like a base size to try and get some profit out of them. But the big release on this day is going to be the Travis Scott Nike SB Dunk Low. A lot of people are looking out for this and have been waiting for this release, and yeah, the 29th is pretty much the day when everyone has put their dates down for and their releases down for. Personally for me, I think these look really cool, and if I can cop a pair, I'll be very happy, but the odds on that happening will probably be extremely low. From here, we're going to move on to the unknowns and the releases that could happen during this month, or they could just be a bit all over the place for this month. But before we get to that, on the 31st, being tomorrow, there is going to be a New Balance Kith release. But now let's move into the unknowns. The first unknown is going to start off on the 28th, which could be the possibility of the MNVN Yeezy 700 Orange. I don't know how to pronounce it, I'll be honest. I've heard others say it, I've heard friends say it to me, and I just can't pronounce it. But yeah, all of these releases, which are I'm just not going to be able to say it, but this Yeezy 700 are just unknowns. They could be on the 28th, there could be a possibility of release on the 15th or the 21st, but to be honest, it's just all over the place. The same thing that is all over the place is the Sacai Waffle, or Nike Sacai Waffle release. Two colorways being the black and the white with the cream color on it, which I am a bit more of a fan of, are going to be releasing at some point, but like I said, it's an unknown time frame as to when it will, or if it will at some point in time, and as of that is just a bit difficult to gauge. But when it does release, just be ready, as it will definitely have some good profit to it. Moving on, we have a couple more that need to be included. The first is going to be the Yeezy 380 V3 Mist. There is the possibility that this is going to also release on the 29th, but but it is, like I said, unknown, and when we find out, we find out. The same applies for the 380 V3 in the black colorway. It's just an unknown, and we just really have no clue when it is coming out. For the last 3 releases, these are all going to be Air Jordan 1 mids, and yeah, they're all different in their own way, but they will have profit in the small and the larger sizes, and then the final one will have profit in probably just the size 7, as mids tend to do well in size 7. That is going to be a US 7, not a UK 7. Keep that in mind. We're going to kick things off with the Air Jordan 1 mid SE for women, ushers in another. This is going to be released in a multicolour or the multicolored palette, and yeah, I definitely keep an eye out for this one, as well as the Sheila Rashid's Air Jordan 1 mid Unite. These two are on the same sort of level as the Melodies that released, and for the profit side of them, you just definitely need to keep an eye out for them when they release, or when the sort of release date comes out for them. Just have it ready to go for them, because they will definitely have some really good profit to them. Personally for me, I actually do like both of the colorways. I like the different details to each of them. Specifically on the Sheila Rashid's insole, you have Unite on one side with the Jumpman as the eye, and then the other you have Sheila Rashid, and then the insole itself changes from a grey to a purple violet colorway, matching the sneakers change of colour as well. The last one is going to be the Air Jordan 1 mid Chicago colorway. Now, like I said, this one is also a hype release, but it's not on the same level as the prior two. It's just that in size 7 it's going to do well. I'm a fan of Chicago colorways, but specifically in mids, some mids just don't tend to do well in the aftermarket, and as of that, some sizes are just going to be standout sizes. So for this one, this is going to be the standout size that you just need to look out for in this colorway. It might change when it comes to it releasing, but I don't know if it will make that much of a difference. So that is going to cover February for the February hype releases, or the February releases in general. There's some other ones that are releasing that I just decided not to include, just for the pure fact that personally for me, I think that they're just going to brick, or they're not going to do well. A lot of people have said that there are like another 6 or 7 that I could probably add, but I think that this is the list that I have gone for and that I have settled on for this month of the releases. I think there are like 17 or so releasing that I've just said to keep an eye out on, so I think you should as well. Now, if you enjoyed this video, a like would be much appreciated. I'm going to be bringing you to sneaker releases monthly from now on. Whether it is a day before the next month, or if it's a week before the next month, or something like that, I'll bring these out pretty much monthly from now on, as I just want to get into sneaker releases a bit more. I'll also be bringing you sneaker live cops, like a ton more, because yeah, I just really want to start getting into them and going for them. With that said, on the 1st of February, I'll probably be making a channel name change and a banner update. This is just a personal choice because of the pure fact that I've meant to change the name for quite a bit of time, and now I've sort of been known as the gaming guy. But I think it's time to just switch up, make a quick change, and hopefully that will just go down well. But yeah, if you enjoyed, a like would be much appreciated. Other than that, I'll be bringing you to another video tomorrow, and then a video on Saturday, and then a video on Sunday. We're going to end January off on a high and kick February off on a high as well. So yeah, thank you for watching, and if you have any suggestions or anything, drop them in the comment section down below, and yeah, I'll see you all next time. Peace.